Henry VII of England, the founder of the Tudor Dynasty, lived a life that could rival any epic tale. Born in 1457 to Margaret Beaufort in the shadow of the Wars of the Roses, Henry's early years were shaped by exile and uncertainty. He spent much of his youth in Brittany, far from the chaos of English politics. But destiny had plans for him. In 1485, he returned to England and stunned the world by defeating the mighty Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth Field, a dramatic climax that ended the Plantagenet reign and crowned Henry as king. Once King Henry VII wasted no time in solidifying his rule. In a move both politically brilliant and romantically symbolic, he married Elizabeth of York, uniting the warring houses of Lancaster and York. Their union was the living embodiment of peace after decades of bloodshed, and it gave rise to the iconic Tudor rose, a fusion of red and white. Behind his reserved demeanor was a ruler always calculating, always cautious, a man who knew that one wrong move could unravel everything he had fought for. Henry VII turned survival into strategy, and strategy into sovereignty. His rise wasn't just a victory. It was a warning to anyone who underestimated the quiet ones. Henry VIII had 4 children. Henry VIII. Arthur. Mary Margaret. After Henry VII, Arthur, King of Wales, was supposed to be king. Arthur, Prince of Wales, was the firstborn son of Henry VII and heir to the Tudor throne, a prince raised to rule, yet destined never to wear the crown. Born in 1486, just a year after his father's victory at Bosworth, Arthur symbolized the unity of Lancaster and York and the hopeful future of a new dynasty. Groomed from birth for kingship, he was intelligent, well-educated, and politically significant. At age 15, he married Catherine of Aragon, linking England to powerful Spain, a royal match meant to strengthen the Tudor hold. But just months after the wedding, tragedy struck. Arthur died suddenly in 1502, likely from illness, at only 16 years old. His death rocked the Tudor world and shifted the line of succession to his younger brother, the future Henry VIII. Arthur's life was brief, but his passing changed the course of English history forever. Henry VIII, a name that echoes through history like a thunderclap. Born in 1491, the second son of Henry VII, Henry wasn't originally meant to be king. But after the untimely death of his brother Arthur, the crown, and the heavy weight of destiny, fell onto his young shoulders. In 1509, at just 17 years old, he became King of England and married his brother's widow, Catherine of Aragon, sealing an alliance and continuing his father's careful diplomacy. But Henry was no quiet ruler. He was a larger-than-life figure, athletic, charismatic, intelligent, and fiercely ambitious. Early in his reign, he was hailed as a Renaissance prince, even writing music and theological texts. Yet beneath the charm burned a temper and ego that would leave England forever changed. When Catherine failed to produce a male heir, Henry's obsession with securing his dynasty spiraled into one of history's most infamous marital dramas. His desire to annul the marriage led him into a bitter clash with the Catholic Church, and when the Pope refused to grant it, Henry broke from Rome entirely. Thus, the Church of England was born, with Henry as its supreme head, tearing England from centuries of Catholic tradition. It wasn't just religious reform. Over the years, Henry took 6 wives: Catherine of Aragon, divorced; Anne Boleyn, executed; Jane Seymour, died; Anne of Cleves, divorced; Catherine Howard, executed; Catherine Parr, widowed. Each marriage brought its own wave of scandal, heartbreak, and political fallout. Henry's personal life was a whirlwind of love, betrayal, and bloodshed. By the end of his life, the once handsome king had transformed. A nasty jousting accident in 1536 left him with a grotesque, ulcerated leg wound that never properly healed. It became infected, foul-smelling, and excruciating, physically crippling him and perhaps worsening his already volatile temperament. Still, his legacy loomed large. He centralized royal power, expanded the navy, and reshaped England's religious identity. Henry VIII didn't just rule, he rewrote the rules. No matter how many achievements Henry had, he still was known as the wife-killing tyrant. Part 2 of Tudor Dynasty will be posted soon on this channel. Subscribe for Part 2.